Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Stomp This Way. Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Labor Day.
Yeah.
Recording this 9 p.m. on Labor Day, trying to fit it in before everybody goes back to work. I just realized a while ago that I didn't read the comic book for this week, so I'll push the final review of that comic book crossover over to next week, hopefully. Football's back. And that means that my movie watching time has been greatly reduced. It's now devoted to foosball. And, but you know, it's part of it. Part of being a sports fan, unfortunately. Anyway, this week we're reviewing God Raiga versus King Ohgha, War of the Monsters. You excited?
Oh, you know it.
We've seen this movie before, right? I think we watched it when I first got it on Blu-ray. I think we did.
I don't think we've ever watched this before.
I think we did. Maybe not. Maybe.
I don't think we've ever watched this before.
Okay.
I've never watched it before.
I really couldn't remember watching it if I had seen it before. I thought I had seen it. It didn't really ring any bells watching it.
If you watched it,
you watched it without
me.
you.
And
Yeah.
I don't think you watched it.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe we've seen it before, maybe not. Maybe I purged it from my memory. But, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. You want to just get into it?
Sure.
All right, production trivia. This is the third film of Hayashiya's Deep Sea Monster series, and the last one as of right now. This movie was actually shot sometime in either 2014 or early 2015 because Hayashiya posted a trailer for it on YouTube in June of 2015, which was nearly 4 years, about 3.5 years before it actually got a release. But SRS Cinema picked it up to release it in the US on physical media, and I skipped alternate titles. The actual Japanese title of this movie is Deep Sea Monster Raiga versus Lava Beast Ohgha. I've also seen it shortened to God Raiga versus King Ohgha. I've seen Raiga versus Ohgha. I've seen Raiga and Ohgha's names flopped in the reverse order. But SRS Cinema changed the title to God Raiga versus King Ohgha to capitalize on that year's release of Godzilla vs. Kong, the MonsterVerse movie.
Yeah.
And then just a little fun factoid. If you couldn't tell watching the movie, if you did watch the movie, the Gatling robot's missiles are Nerf darts.
Very obviously.
Yeah. So
they're like the automated turret things that they had.
Yeah. So anyway, box office. I don't have any box office other than this was originally released on May 7th of 2019. And we're going to listen to a trailer. It's probably going to be like the rest of the SRS Cinema trailers and be just a little
sound
musical interlude here. But here it is, and we'll see you on the other side. All right, there it was. There it was. I noticed as I was watching the trailer there on my phone that you remember the tagline for that Godzilla vs Kong movie was "One will fall."
One will fall.
Well, they had a play on that tagline for this that said "One will reign." So
Wow.
yeah. Anyway, cast and crew. This was directed by Shinpei Hayashiya, written by Shinpei Hayashiya, and effects done by Shinpei Hayashiya. Music by Kiichiro Kitazono and Rengoku Kozuo. And you think Rengoku is his real name, or you think he has a stage name?
It might be his real name.
It might be. Isn't that a Dragon Ball Z character?
When Goku is the flame Hashira.
Oh yeah, Rengoku's the Flame Archer.
How could you forget
Oh
that?
my gosh, I get my animes confused. I'm so sorry. I knew it from some anime. Starring Makoto Inamiya, Anko Hayashiya, Wasabi Yanagiya, Isamu Ago, Shocho Shimpute, and Hanji Yanagiya. And the plot. Plot is
Very.
kind of, sort of, as follows, I think. I'm not really sure.
Very hard to follow.
But yeah, here we go. It's been 3 years since Raiga attacked Tokyo, and Commander Kito has been excised from the defense forces for all of the destruction that was caused. He and 2 of his followers now run their own operation out of Atami Castle. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister is planning a new casino construction project. When 2 kaiju, Ohga and Raiga, appear in the Atami area, the Prime Minister decides to let the kaiju destroy Atami so he can rebuild the area with his casino. He sends his associate, Counselor Kohara, to facilitate a battle between Kito and the kaiju. Kito and his associates throw a variety of mech vehicles at the kaiju, none of which are successful in stopping the giant beasts. Kohara is demoted after failing to produce the results the Prime Minister wanted. Eventually, the 2 kaiju battle. Kito and his friends set up a photon bomb that goes off and kills both kaiju and all the humans nearby. In the after credits scene, we see that the radioactivity from the bomb has combined with the DNA of the 2 kaiju into Kuga, the monster of thunder. Kuga attacks Hawaii, where the earth monster Dias rises from the volcano to oppose him. The end.
Because, those 2 monsters' DNAs were like 98% compatible to each other
Yeah, they made a big deal out of that.
at the very end.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, the movie starts with about a 5-minute recap of Raigo, which really has nothing to do with this movie, and Raiga.
I think it's more than 5 minutes.
I looked at the time marker. It's about 5 minutes.
It felt long.
It felt this movie's 83 minutes. It felt like 3.5 hours. It starts with a 5-minute recap of those 2 films. Just I guess if you haven't seen them, to kind of get you caught up on this.
Honestly, the best part of the film.
And it's the best put together part of the film, without a doubt, to kind of get you caught up on the events of this universe. And then, we start with we set up the basics of the story, which is Commander Kito is, from what I gathered, being kicked out of the defense forces because they blamed him for causing.
He was removed. He was placed in the remote area.
Okay, was he
in the Ames remote defense area?
Yeah, because he was blamed for all the destruction that was caused in the Raiga movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got a little base under Atami Castle, like you have to go through the bathroom to get to it.
He was heavily demoted.
Yeah. And he's got 2 employees, I guess. And that's the basic setup.
And the guard that pops in and out randomly.
Yeah, and if you don't remember, Kito was the heel from there. There's we set up a subplot with the Prime Minister and his assistant or whatever, where the Prime Minister wants there's like a casino development that he wants done in this area, but he's having some issues with it, I guess. And him and his assistant are like literally like have an evil laugh going about it, because they're gonna, I guess, basically these 2 kaiju appear and they're going to
Let them Keto.
let Keto blow up the city to try to kill them so that they can then rebuild it with the casino that they want.
So that, yeah, they can, purchase the land
Yeah.
out from under the owners.
Yeah. An evil real estate plot, like Gene Hackman in that first Superman or something.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's the basic plot. And we kind of set up a bit of a story structure. And then it pretty much just goes off the rails. The rest of the movie is Ohga shows up.
It was very blurry
Yeah.
and not much going.
Well, Ohga shows up, and then Raiga shows up, and the most of the rest of the movie is a series of like Kito's old friends will be assigned to help him, and they each have their own like mech vehicle. Like the first one is the what was it, something with a G, Gutome or something. It's basically like an Atragon drilling type thing that you see like any old Ultraman show has or something, with big drill and a laser. And it gets destroyed, and it wasn't supposed to be deployed because it was like a big secret weapon, and so Kohara gets demoted, the one guy, because he wasn't supposed to let it get deployed.
And there's like these interjections with these these action figure people.
At the actual defense headquarters in Japan, yeah, it's a running joke that it cuts back, and it's like literal G.I. Joe figures standing around like a little toy table, like, and it's like subtitled, captioned, and them like,
Talking.
explaining what's going on or whatever. And then yeah, so that goes on for a little while, and then there's a scene towards the middle of the movie that is like whatever little momentum this movie had, which I guess we see before this. They deploy like one of the Gatlin robots, and it's like you said, it's a little thing with like little Nerf darts loaded in it, and I think it gets destroyed or something.
Yeah, it gets destroyed.
Does it shoot at Raiga or Ohga? I can't remember. I think it shoots at Raiga.
Yeah.
No, it shoots at Ohga because that's where they say it has light
Raiga.
bending. Raiga. I think it shoots at Ohga because that's where they say it has like light bending powers or
No, that's later.
Oh, is that later?
That's when they get the tank, the laser
Oh,
tank.
okay. That's maybe
think
the
they-
Gatlin thing was shooting at Raiga. then.
Raiga.
And anyway, because the two monsters are on a collision course, I guess, or something. But anyway, yeah. So there's a scene. I mean, this movie is not good from the word go, but there's a scene in the middle that absolutely kills whatever little momentum this movie had. Where it's I timed it. It's about a 10-minute scene where they go. Keto and his crew go to under Tokyo Tower. There's this female defense force division, and it is one of they were trying to be funny, I think.
Oh yeah.
But it is some of the most cringy, like
Hard to watch.
hard to watch stuff I've ever seen, where he's like, trying to convince these women to help him, and of course they're like tokusatsu women stereotypes hyped up to the nth degree, where like one's very girly and over the top, and one's like a really like hardcore woman, and she's having an affair with the prime minister. And at one point, I don't know if it's just the subtitles or if he actually used some really harsh language in Japanese, but there's a C word is used, and it's like, whoa, what kind of movie is this? And yeah, there's literally 10 minutes of this where there's just like really like weird. It's like a disco ball thing cheap disco ball effect thing going
Yeah.
on the whole time. And
One of them made a joke. Is this a party?
is this a disco party? Yeah, and it's just terrible. And like I said, it literally goes on for about 10 minutes, and it's like, can we just please let this be over? This movie avoids showing the monsters as much as it can because as we'll talk about, he had no money for this. This is literally a movie that me and Andrew could get some friends together and with just a couple $100 go to Hobby Lobby and maybe one of us take a class on Microsoft Paint, and I think we can make this
Because
movie.
he literally, like we said, he didn't have enough money to do anything, so he directed, wrote, and did all the effects himself.
Yeah. You know, the other two films, he actually had some money to hire effects artists to do some stuff. And, you know, those movies were cheap,
But
very
they
cheap.
had professional.
But you could tell that people had worked on it. People that knew the craft. I mean, obviously they didn't have the time or budget to make a legit kaiju movie, but people that kind of knew the craft, had worked on it, and they had made, you know, suits and had actually
made it look
scouted out
passable.
filming locations and stuff like that. This one, no, not at all. But just to kind of get through the plot, after that little thing, they go and these girls have like a robot tank, or no, an octopus tank.
The
thing.
octopus tank thing, yeah.
I think they literally call it the octopus. And it goes to fight Ohga, and that's where they say it has like light
first
bending.
they send out their little nerf shooting tanks.
Their little Nerf Gatling robots.
Yeah, they sent those out
And,
first. Then they send out their octopus tanks.
And then they think it wins, but then
Well, there was two of them first.
was there two octopus tanks?
Octopus 1, Octopus 2.
Oh.
And the
okay.
Octopus 2 got killed first.
Okay.
And then they thought the other one won the battle with its, you know, death. What was it called?
I have no
It's like
idea.
death mist thing going on it had,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
it shortly after that got destroyed as well.
Yeah. And
We got very blurry and out of focus shots of the monster.
yeah. And then so there's also like these intercut scenes of like these white people who play CIA agents flying in an osprey. And they're like giving commentary, and at one point they finally get destroyed by
They got too close to the monster and got
they got
blown up.
yeah. And then they finally decide they're gonna use a proton bomb or a photon bomb.
Yeah.
When because the two monsters get into a fight, we'll talk about it here in a little bit, and then they kind of go their separate ways, and they at the end of the movie they come back and fight each other again, and that's when Kito's group decides they're gonna use a photon bomb, but Kito gets injured, and then the younger guy's like, I'll take it and sacrifice myself, but he drops it because he gets too scared. And I got confused at the ending. And then the monsters are fighting, and I think like the main defense force headquarters like shot a missile or something, and then I think that set off the proton bomb that killed everybody. And then it cuts to credits after, like, there's a intercut scene of a white guy. I think it's actually Kyle from that did the Kaiju cast for all those years, gives something to somebody. And and like I said, they were making a big deal about how the two kaiju had like 97% identical DNA, and they were like, it could be combined. And I'm like, are they trying to say the monsters are going to try to mate or something?
No.
Oh, but no, the monsters are clearly fighting, and then the bomb goes off, and then it cuts to credits. And then Andrew takes the disc out of the Xbox, and I'm like, wait, we kind of finished the movie.
Well, he paused it.
I paused it because Mom called.
You paused it before Mom called.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to use the restroom. You were doing something on your computer. I went to use the restroom. I come back, still paused. I was like, I guess it's over.
Well, I was trying to write the plot summary, and I saw on Wikipedia that it said something about a monster attacking Hawaii, and it's like, we didn't see that part.
That's what. Then you was like, wait a minute.
And so we put it back in, and we watched the after credits scene, which was the radiation caused their cells to merge or something, and we get Kuga, the thunder monster. And it's like a flying monster. And it goes to Hawaii and attacks Hawaii. And out of the volcano, Diaz rises. He's the earth monster. and they get into a fight, and then the end.
Sequel?
Sequel? Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, they have no money. The movie is like in that first movie, like Raiga. That movie, again, cheap. Clearly, a
With-
lot of bad CGI.
Competently made.
He actually tried to tell a narrative in that movie. He actually had like a story, had a beginning, middle, end, with this crew on this battleship fighting this monster. And I
He
said in
had
the right
some-
review, it largely didn't work, but at least it was semi-coherent.
And he had like 1 or 2 credible actors in it.
And he had a decent cast, and I could tell what was going on. And in that second movie, it was more like a series of bits of sketches.
But it was still
But
cohesive.
I could still, the plot didn't make a lot of sense, but I could tell visually, I could see what was happening.
Yeah, they did.
And some of the comedy in that kind of worked. And then I really appreciated like going back to like the man in the suit and, hearkening back and honoring,
You could actually see the monster.
those old school, like men in suit crushing, Model City kind of stuff. This movie, again, the plot is just kind of a series of bits, makes absolutely no sense, and doesn't really pay off in any way. Like the plot they set up about the casino and all that, I mean, doesn't go anywhere.
Well, at the end, they said they had in the end, they're gonna have to postpone it anyway.
Well, they said they were going to postpone it when, like after the first monster fight, but then right after that, it comes back and says the plane is still in progress, and that's before the big fight and the bomb goes off. So I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. But
I don't think it's gonna be in progress now because everything's vaporized.
yeah. And then there's like it's basically like a series of character introductions where these characters will come in and they'll be like Keto is reuniting with an old friend, and then they take their little robot into battle and immediately die. And then it just, and then the monster stuff, I mean, we'll kind of have to get into effects section, but it's just not there, boys and girls. It's just like nonsensical.
You can't even tell what's going on.
Yeah, the stuff that we're here to watch, we're watching it for, you can't even really see. So it's 83 minutes of pain.
It's like worse than PlayStation 1 graphics.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get into, so let's do creature design first. So we have Ohgha. Just talking about the design, he's kind of like he's a 4-legged burrowing monster with kind of like a Chinese dragon head with like the yellow horns, curvy horns,
From
and the
what
yellow
I can
eyes.
see of him.
From what I can see of him, you never get a great look at him full body anyway.
Well, because they didn't have a full body.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. He's mostly portrayed by, there is like a puppet, I think like a half body puppet they have of like the head and 2 forearms. And then there's like a literal like plastic action figure they have of him that doesn't move, that they show in wide shots sometimes. But then the puppet has like a light up mouth and stuff like that. I don't think at any point I don't think they have a suit. I don't think at any point it's a guy in a suit.
No.
Then we have Raiga. We talked about Raiga last time. There are scenes of a guy in it, like you can tell it's a suit. I don't know this for a fact. I'd be willing to bet anytime it looks like a guy in a suit, it's probably footage from the previous movie where they've just
Edited it in.
they've just composited him on a different background. Like I said, I don't know that for a fact. Maybe they did have that suit in their possession and got someone in it. I don't know, but there's a lot of most of the new stuff I could tell with him was, again, there was like a puppet of just like the head and neck, and then there was an action figure that kind of stood still while some fireworks were shot at it sometimes.
And it moved side to side.
Yeah, and getting into effects. I mean, when I say like Microsoft's Paint level effects, I'm serious. Like a lot of it with the monster stuff is like blurry, out of focus, and then there's like
the first scene where they have the battleship.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so terrible.
Yeah, there's like their effects are literally like they put it out of focus, and then there's like a cheap swirling fire effect or some sparkler effects
Yeah.
or some like water splashing effects.
Looks so bad.
And they'll kind of like edit it together rapidly with like different angles of their little action figures or puppets to try to make it look kinetic. And you know, they have some like toy remote controlled like toy trucks and tanks and stuff.
You know, the automatic Nerf shooter things.
The little like literal like yeah, it's like these robots, and they put like they took like some like Nerf Gatling guns that you could buy at Walmart or whatever, and like painted them like Gatling guns, and like put like a robot head on top of it.
And like
Yeah.
good enough.
And yeah, and then there's like some battleships and planes, but like before where they were like, I mean, they were poor CGI, but they were CGI and they moved. They're literally like still photos, like, but like, and they went to like Adobe, whatever you call it, not Photoshop, but the Adobe thing where you can like do the stop motion stuff. And they just like had it like, yeah, like the little still photo, like, you know, moving stop motion style across the background. Yeah, it's truly awful. Like before, like I said, Raiga, like Raiga was mostly CGI. They did have a puppet of it that they used, but again, you could tell an actual, you know, somebody had actually sat at a desk and animated him in that first movie. And then in Raiga, they actually got a suit actor in a suit. Yes, the background was some terrible screen monstrosity, but it was actually a guy in a suit,
Or
and
a
you
really cheap model set.
it was a guy in a suit, and you could actually walk around and do the little, you know, power up moves and you know, swipe at things and stuff. And in this, it's literally out of focus plastic action
To
figures.
be fair, this guy was doing a lot of stuff.
And he could,
Mhm.
he had a lot. Yeah, he did the whole movie, and you could tell like they actually had in that second movie some on location shots and stuff where they scouted out a couple of different locations and took a camera crew and filmed some stuff. Here they are like had like 2 rooms that they filmed the whole movie in, and then they took some clearly like some. They took put a camera in a car for something they clearly didn't have a permit for, and like took, you know, drove the car around the Tokyo Tower a couple times and took some footage and stuff. Yeah, it's just so cheap. It's just so cheap. And the bad thing is like it's so painfully unfunny. Like you know, like there's a couple of kind of amusing things. Like the first time they cut to the defense headquarters and his G.I. Joe action figures is kind of funny. But the joke gets old really fast. But most of it's so painfully unfunny that it's just like I'm just so bored and just ready for it to be over.
What is this?
And it's like, what am I watching? And then Score, again, it's weird. Like at one point, I was pretty sure they were just reusing that 90s TV show Goosebumps theme when one of the characters walked in. And then there was some other theme that they definitely ripped off for a scene. And it's all over the place because it's trying to be goofy in some parts, trying to be like
use the soundtrack for the other movies.
Yeah, so it's just kind of all over the place. But yeah. 83 minutes of torture.
It was not good, folks.
Do you want to go some final thoughts?
Oh, sure.
Go for it.
Well, like we said, this is a terrible movie. Terrible. It's the effects, terrible.
Yeah.
The acting, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
It is not good.
It's very, very over dramatic.
Oh yeah, and then the white people they got in here, which the English actors.
Like they dubbed them over.
Yeah, well, the English actors. First of all, they're just like fans, just like everybody working on this movie. I mean, like I don't remember all their names, but they're people that are just around the fandom. And one of them, like I said, I know that one towards that, like the very last shot before it cuts to credits, was Kyle from the Kaiju cast. But yeah, especially like the 2 playing the CIA agents. You can tell they went back and did some terrible ADR on them. And it's like It's so distracting.
What is this? Because the effects on the monsters and anything, you couldn't see them, or they were so out of focus you didn't know what's going on. All the weird fire effects, water splash effects, and the tanks and the still frames of everything that you could tell that they went and edited to make it look like it was slightly moving. Terrible.
Yeah.
And score. It was not it was not a good score.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. You didn't know what going on with it, and it just does not go with this movie.
Yeah.
The only thing that goes with this movie, kind of, when they reuse the old stuff from the other two movies.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give this movie an F.
Yeah, listen, I think I gave him a break sort of on those first two movies because they were glorified fan films. These are all glorified fan films. But those first two movies, like I said, he had a little bit of money. I think it was like crowdsourced stuff. But he had a little bit of money to like pay some people to, first act in the movies. Like he got that Ultraman actor. He got, some people that were working actors in Japan. And he also had, some money to do some, low budget CGI. He had money to build props and puppets and a monster suit for that second movie. So they were, they were movies that, again, fan films, but fan films that had money and effort put into them.
This one is just like a fan made.
This one is literally, this is like something like some film students that like literally have no money would scrape together and just kind of, do on some free software on the internet and throw out there.
Yeah.
And again, I appreciate Hayashiya's fandom. I love that he is passionate about this stuff and is passionate enough to pour blood, sweat, and tears into these movies. But just as a viewing experience, this is a terrible movie. The acting is terrible. Everything is so over the top. It makes no sense. And, the stuff we're here for, which is the monsters, is just unwatchable. Like you can't see it. It's like Microsoft Paint effects. It's puppets and action figures and stuff, little firecrackers going off, and just absolutely looks terrible. And it's an 83-minute, hell ride. It's really painful. I don't know if I'm willing to say it's the worst movie we've seen for this podcast. We've seen several terrible movies, but this is definitely right there with the worst of them, and I am going to give it an F as well. But hopefully, I'm hoping that we have some better movies coming up on the podcast. I'm not saying they're all going to be like Oscar worthy or anything, but some,
passable,
professionally made films.
That's the first time we got to use that sound effect in a while.
That's the first time we've used, the F sound effect in a while. So
we hardly ever use the A sound effect.
Yeah, the A+ sound effect. I can't remember the last movie we used the F sound effect on.
It would be after.
No, it has been a lot more recent than that. We used it since the revival, I think, or one of us did. But anyway, so terrible movie. If you really just love indie kaiju flicks, I think, as we wrap up this trilogy, check out the first two if you've got some spare time with nothing better to do. But this one you can just skip. It is totally not worth your time. If I was ranking them, I would probably go Raiga, then Raigo, then this one.
Yeah.
And then the first two would be, whatever, decent, passable, and then this one would be way down.
It'd be like, don't watch.
Don't watch it. So, and again, I say, I think I appreciate Hayashiya's love for these films and the fact that he, I wish I was passionate enough to spend time making movies like that. But I love that he gets to do that. But this is not a good viewing experience. So
Sorry.
anyway, so like I said, comic book review. I'll have to finish that next week. I didn't get a chance to read it this weekend. They released a trailer for the Godzilla Fest in Japan this year. You know, they do the short films at those.
Yeah.
They have a new short film coming out, and it looks like they've brought back the Godzilla 2000 suit.
Oh boy.
That suit, and which is my favorite design. And I don't know what the short's about or anything, but it is a suitmation live action thing. So excited about that. Shin Godzilla is getting a physical media release on October 28th. They are going to release 4 different editions. They're going to have the deluxe collector's edition,
Everyone will get that probably.
the 4K Ultra HD Steelbook. I think that's the one I pre-ordered. The standard 4K Ultra HD, or the standard Blu-ray. So, which I've already got it on Blu-ray, but I didn't get the Steelbook. Yeah, pre-ordered
You
it.
didn't
So.
get the deluxe collector's edition?
No, I don't think I got that version, but listen, I'm on a budget here, okay? And then Godzilla Minus One has officially begun filming. I mean, the Godzilla
Minus one
sequel has officially begun filming. So
Minus one's already been filmed and released.
it's already been filmed, released
on
and all
physical
that.
media.
So look forward to that. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I got anything else. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I'm pretty sure next week is the Ultraman Decker movie.
Yep.
It'll be the final Ultraman movie for a little bit. So we've caught up with Ultraman.
Yeah.
Look at that. But we got to catch up. We've missed a couple episodes, I think, of Omega. What is that the new one? Omega?
Omega.
Yeah. Omega. So we got to catch up on that. But other than that, yeah, I think that's it. Catch Ultraman Decker next week with us. And as always, don't forget that you can contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
And you can find our website at www.stompthisway.wordpress.com.
And you can find us on Facebook at Stomp This Way. But other than that, I think that's it. Thank you for suffering through this movie with us. And we'll just see you next week.
Well, I'm Andrew.
Oh, well, and there's Andrew, and I am Aaron. And we'll see you next time.